have today, right? So when we did one about Jon Snow versus Daemon, who would win? And I think maybe you and I both kind of went on the Jon Snow fence. The video's up and people are commenting on it. And I think some people are saying, hey, Daemon would smoke Jon. Some of the players are saying show Jon certainly might beat Daemon. Back and forth here. But this one, I think you can kind of look at show and book, and it's pretty similar. Who wins in a fight, Greyworm or Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper? 82%.
An absolute ratio.
Yes.
I am kind of surprised by this in a way, because Greyworm is part of the Unsullied. Like, I agree, because Oberyn is also, like, you know, he's a poisoner. He's very talented and he's very well traveled. I think he's also fought probably more styles than the Unsullied have, but Greyworm is still an Unsullied. I think this fight's closer than the poll is saying.
Yeah, I would still say, I guess for me, I'd still probably go like 7 out of 10 times. So I felt like maybe 60% Oberyn would have been a little more fair, because the Unsullied, you got to think, I mean, they're training from the moment they're like 5 years old every day of their lives.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
they get their nipples cut off and don't flinch. You pinch mine, I scream, you know?
Yeah, they are. That's not the only thing they get cut off, but they are hardcore. I mean, they're like Spartans.
Yeah, I think this might be some Westerosi bias, classic bias that we're seeing here, because
right.
I don't know. The more now I'm sitting here, I'm thinking maybe I don't agree with this. I think Greyworm might slap him around a little bit.
See, now people are like, well, hold on a second, Matt. You said that Daemon would beat Jon, and I was like, no, yeah, I look at their accomplishments. Okay. So Oberyn does sort of beat the Mountain, to be fair. I mean, yes, he he dies in the process, but I mean, he beats him. If he's smarter in that scenario, he beats him. If he had done the same amount of damage to Greyworm definitely would be dead. Okay. The Mountain can take an enormous amount, but Oberyn is doing some like insane backflips and everything. I think he's just way more agile. I think he is, just from the one fight we get to see, I would say he is more skilled than Greyworm. I think some of the other stuff that Greyworm, now as like a battle commander, I didn't think it's close. If you ask me who do I want to lead an army, it's Greyworm.
Oh,
and it's you flip this around. And Greyworm is a stud too. I mean, I think if you put him up against a lot of other people, he's
a first round draft pick.
He might be a high second.
No. You're out of your mind.
He might be a high second.
This is like the Manning boys. Like, they're being bred for this game, man.
Yeah. As if we were picking to lead an army, yeah, he's like top 3.
I don't want to run into an Unsullied in the back alley. That's all I'm saying. I think they would mess me up. I don't even think it'd be close. I mean, I will say this: Oberyn Martell should have absolutely destroyed the Mountain. He let him back into the fight. Like, we can agree on that.
I think if Oberyn was just going in to kill him, I don't even think it would have been close.
It wasn't.
It barely was close in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the Mountain really lost.
And the book, it's sort of the same thing.
But you know, Matt, styles make fights. Styles makes fights, and the Mountain's big and slow, and Oberyn Martell isn't. I think Greyworm is not only strong, but I think he's fast too. So I wonder how Oberyn would be able to handle the footwork from the Unsullied, because he's going to have that Eastern footwork. It's an interesting fight. I think that these scorecards are way out of line.
I don't agree with 82-18.
That's insane.
That's insane.
They cut their nipples off people.
Yeah, 82-18 is a little high. For a bit. I was thinking this would be like 60-40, like low end, 70-30 high, and I was not expecting 82.
Listen, if you're gonna give me plus 800 odds on Greyworm on DraftKings, I'm putting a $5 on him. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta what do you call that, parlay?
I'll do a couple later. Here.
Yeah, you gotta parlay. But hey, these are fun, and we have a lot more coming. So I'm gonna keep posting them over on YouTube, and you guys can go vote of them. And this is actually from like 2 weeks ago. But every time we record, we'll talk about talk about another one. But we just had another one that was a total blowout, and I wasn't expecting it to be as big of a blowout. So
This makes it really interesting because, like, I think our expectations are not usually met. Whenever we post a poll, we figure out, like, we're like, all right, this person's probably going to win, and it hasn't always went that way. So whenever we end up doing this big draft, drafting our champions, I think we might be surprised.
We'll have to see what the fans say. We're thinking maybe end of February, right in time for sort of March Madness. We'll get that we'll get that going.
It's a great idea.